Uh, Hi, this is Joe again with another video review. I'm gonna say this video, and I know I'm a day late discussing this topic, but as a technical problem, so I'm doing it today. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing the 2017 Hall of Fame election. It came a yearly thing, with me. For those of you who are my subscribers and follow me on my videos, it's going to yearly thing that I discuss the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame election, which happened 2 days ago. And of course, the Hall of Fame class has been set, and they're all living members, except for the people who were elected for the broadcasters ring in the Hall of Fame, and the sports writers book has passed away. But I'm not focusing on them. I'm focusing on the ones who are actually going to get the physical plaques that's going to be hung in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. And of course, the 2017 Hall of Fame class is a little bit controversial. There's one particular person which we're going to get into. The three main players who got elected are, of course, Jeff Bagwell, who also, of course, is a little bit controversial, which I'm also going to get into. Tim Raines, who was mostly going to pay for the Expos, and I guess I'm not exactly sure if it's official or not. I guess he's going to be representing the Montreal Expos in the Hall of Fame. Bagwell's going to be representing the Astros because he spent his entire career with them. And of course, Ivan Rodriguez, who is the most controversial one of the three, on the baseball writers election, he's going to go in as a Texas Ranger. Now the other two people who are also going to go in is John Schuerholz, who was the general manager for the Braves for all those years when they finished first and never won only won one World Series out of it in 15 tries. He got elected on the Veterans Committee, and Bud Selig, who is also, of course, the other controversial character. I know a cough was coming. He also got elected by the Veterans Committee vote, and he was the commissioner during the whole steroid era. He was at the time the temporary commissioner during the infamous '94 strike. He was one who started with the wild card. He expanded in '93 with the Rockies and Marlins, and again in '98 with Tampa Bay and Arizona, created the super wild card format, expanded the playoffs, divided baseball to 6 divisions and 2 wild cards, and made the All-Star game count, which of course thankfully is going to be discontinued this year. So I mean, it's a joke that he's in the Hall of Fame, and Marvin Miller, who started the baseball players unit, he's not, and Gil Hodges, who is should be in the Hall of Fame, and as the first baseman for the Brooklyn Dodgers and managed the '69 Mets to the World Series. He's not in the Hall of Fame, but this idiot who supervised the whole steroid era as commissioner, and Bud Selig, he gets in. Now, speaking of the steroid thing, let me pull up the steroid era thing for a minute. I want to talk about Tim Raines first before I get into Bagwell and Rodriguez. Tim Raines was one of his last year on the ballot, and he gets voted in. Now the problem is that naturally all this stuff is subjective anyway. But if you've waited for like 10 years, for the first 9 years, sports writers didn't vote for him. Then all of a sudden, last year on the ballot, they vote for him. Is he the guy in the Hall of Fame? When you think of the guy's name, is he or a player's name in any sport? If you think of his name or her name, if it's for women's sports Hall of Fame, it's either the person's a Hall of Fame or not. Like Babe Ruth, obviously he's a Hall of Fame player, or Lou Gehrig, or Ted Williams. But Raines, he had to wait for like this last year on the ballot. I know that Ralph Kiner got in last year on the ballot back in I think it was '74 when he got in. But it was ridiculous that people purposely voted for him because it was his 10th year on the ballot, and he wasn't on steroids, but he was on cocaine early in his career. And that's why he used to slide head first, because they have cocaine vials in his back pocket. while he was playing with Montreal. So he gets voted. Now, of course, the two players who were the big thing is, of course, is Jeff Bagwell, who got in on the 7th year on the ballot this year in 2017, and of course he was kept out of the Hall of Fame, like Mike Piazza was. He was kept out of the Hall of Fame till this year because of the fact that there was suspicion that he was on steroids. Well, the fact is because a lot of people said, "Oh, he got bigger as he was playing," and so of course naturally, of course, you get a bigger physique. People said, "Oh, he was on steroids. Bagwell must be on steroids," because when his whole minor league career, he only had like, excuse me, he only did have 30 home runs. During his, I don't think he even had 20 home runs for his whole minor league career. And all of a sudden, he's in the majors and he got over 400 home runs in his major league career. So they figure, oh, he must be doing steroids. So that's why they kept him out. And the reason why he got in this year is because there was no, in the case of Bagwell, just like Mike Piazza was, they had absolutely zero proof, that Bagwell was on steroids. Same thing with Mike Piazza last year. He didn't get in because of suspicion that he was on steroids. Which is just, it doesn't have concrete proof. Like Clemens, you have proof on Clemens. You have proof with Bonds. You have proof with Sammy Sosa. You have proof with Manny Ramirez. You have proof with Rafael Palmeiro. Those 5 guys should be kicked out of the Hall of Fame. And Rafael Palmeiro is not even on the ballot anymore because he didn't receive the 5% of the vote to stay on the ballot. So he was only on the ballot like for 2 years and he was out. But the other guys that I mentioned, the other 4 guys, talking about Bonds, McGuire is off the ballot now, but you have Bonds, Sosa, Clemens, and you have Bonds, you have Clemens, you have Sammy Sosa. Those 3 guys are still on the ballot, and they gain votes. It's ridiculous. I mean, all 3 of them should have been off the ballot already. They should get like 0 votes. But we saw they were Hall of Famers before they were suspected of being on steroids, which is just a crock of shit. Because you don't know when they stored. You really don't know. So those guys are still in, and they even got a bump this year. I think maybe because Piazza got in last year, people said, if he get in, he was on steroids, then put these guys in too. There's no proof whatsoever that Mike Piazza was on steroids. None. 0. I know I discussed it before in that video I did for the 2016 Hall of Fame class, but he's still stigma. He's still getting crapped on because people thought he was on steroids. Now for the controversial vote, and that's with Ivan Rodriguez. Ivan Rodriguez, I know I'm going to get crapped on for this, but Ivan Rodriguez was a steroid user, and he got elected to the Hall of Fame. And he was named. I should have gotten the book before I started this video. In 2005, Jose Canseco came out with this book, Juiced, which I read. And he mentioned the fact that when they were teammates with the Texas Rangers, Ivan Rodriguez just came up with the Rangers when Canseco was traded there. And Canseco personally injected Ivan Rodriguez with steroids, showed him how to do it, so what the cycle is, so how many times you should do it a week or every few days, inject yourself with steroids. Show him how to. And Canseco showed Rodriguez how to inject himself with steroids. Told him all about the cycle and how your body should react to it, how long a cycle is, and how many times a week or how many hours, like every 12 hours or every whatever the length is. for your steroids. Now everybody knows he was on steroids and he got elected. And John Heyman, who was a sports writer, has a Hall of Fame vote. If you haven't been watching this video, fuck you, John Heyman, because John Heyman, in particular, he kept Mike Piazza off his ballot. Every year that Mike Piazza was on the ballot, and he was only on the ballot for 4 years before he got elected. Last year, 2016, it was his 4th year on the ballot when Piazza finally got elected to the Hall of Fame. And every year, John Heyman did not vote for him. He specifically not voted for Piazza because of the fact that he, John Heyman thought, excuse me, because John Heyman thought that Mike Piazza was on steroids. Meanwhile, there was no proof. Like I said earlier, there was no proof that Mike Piazza was ever on steroids. But he went on speculation. He went on second and third-hand information that Piazza was on steroids, so he decided not to vote for him. Meanwhile, there's more proof on Ivan Rodriguez being on steroids, and John Heyman voted for him on the first ballot, and he just barely got elected. Now, if that's not being a hypocrite and a phony, like the liberal Hollywood phonies out there, who are for gun control, meanwhile they have armed security. It's that type of bullshit that John Heyman is going on. That's Piazza was on steroids, and Ivan Rodriguez wasn't. Because Ivan Rodriguez said, "Oh, he's more of an all-around player because he could field, he could hit." Meanwhile, he could barely hit 5 home runs a year, and all of a sudden, it's saying like 20, 30 home runs, almost 40 home runs a year, like that. And there's local sports talk show host named Steve Summers. He said that Ivan Rodriguez was a player so fast he could be afloat in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I heard that and I busted out laughing, and it's true because I knew that Ivan Rodriguez was on steroids because Jose Canseco admitted that he injected Ivan Rodriguez with steroids, and he gets thrown into the Hall of Fame on the first shot, and Piazza had to wait 4 years. So, like I said to John Heyman, if you haven't been watching this video, fuck you, John Heyman. But it was a joke that Ivan Rodriguez gets in the first shot. Piazza had to wait 4 years. And Ivan Rodriguez marks the first catcher to be elected on his first year on the ballot as Johnny Bench in 1989. We said, well, what about Yogi Berra? Well, Yogi Berra was elected back in the 70s. Or like the late 60s, early 70s, he got, I think 72 he got elected. But, and that was before Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench didn't get into like another 17 years later. But it's a joke that Ivan Rodriguez is in the Hall of Fame. Now I'm going to talk about, for a minute, I'm going to talk about the event of the vote for 2018 for the Baseball Hall of Fame, who's eligible for the first time. And one of them is Larry Jones, otherwise known as Chipper Jones. And I'm telling you, if he gets elected to the Hall of Fame at all, he's going to be the first player elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame for what he did against one team. And that's against the Mets. He hit the Mets more than anybody. He hit over, I think about over 50 home runs total against the Mets. And he gets rubbing it in. Like in 1989, for example, in September 1989, or 1999, excuse me, in 1999, the Mets played the Braves 6 times towards the end of the 1999 season. 3 games here in New York, 3 games down in Atlanta, and the Braves beat the Mets 5 out of the 6. The Braves beat the Mets 5 out of the 6 games, and especially the 3 games down in Atlanta, Larry Jones went to town. I mean, he was hitting home runs like crazy and everything else. And after the 6th game that was played here in New York, Larry Jones said, "No, you Mets fans could put your Yankee gear on." And then, of course, later on, that he named his firstborn son after Shea Stadium. He called his kid Shea because he did so well at Shea Stadium. And constantly rubbing it in, taunting Met fans and everything else. He never apologized for any of those, all your Met fans could put on your Yankee gear crap. He never apologized for it, and I'm asking any sports writer who has to vote, do not vote for Larry Jones because of that stuff. Because he has no class. Because the full form does for what he did against one team. It's bullshit. So that's my review of the 2017 Hall of Fame vote. Please click on the video. Please rate it. Feel free to comment on it. Please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can watch all my videos not only on my YouTube channel at rallyc.com, that's over WDY, C.com. There's a homepage to the Rally Reviewer, Chris Lee Moore. Please check out all of his content on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.